Saka or bust, that's the blunt, headline-ready line Troy Deeney dropped on a recent show, and it's the kind of comment that makes Arsenal fans sit up straight. Deeney argued that despite a busy summer, Arsenal's title push still looks dangerously tied to Bukayo Saka's form. The team, he suggested, might only go as far as Saka takes them. That line stings because it strips away the gloss of big money signings and reduces a championship dream to the fitness and influence of one 23-year-old. It's worth pausing on that because Arsenal haven't just tinkered, they've invested. Victor Gyökeres has arrived to solve the striker question and Noni Madueke has been added to the wing options, while the club also moved to refresh the goalkeeping department. Oh dear. Those are headline moves that should on paper broaden Arsenal's attack and reduce reliance on any single individual. But why are pundits still sounding the alarm? The first issue is positional pressure. Over recent seasons, opponents have begun to funnel defenders towards Saka's right flank and increasingly double-team him, shrinking the spaces he usually attacks. When teams can neutralise your most creative outlet, you either need another player to draw attention or you have to change where that creative outlet operates. Enter Noni Madueke, a direct, tricky wide option who can relieve pressure, and Victor Gyökeres, a striker whose movement could occupy central defenders and open channels for wide players. Yet even with those pieces, critics point to match-winning benchmarks. Can Gyökeres outscore a Mohamed Salah or an Erling Haaland? Can Arsenal's keeper stand up to the best in the league? Those comparisons aren't meant to undermine the new signings, but to highlight the standards Arsenal must meet if they're to leap from near misses to champions. There's also a simple arithmetic risk: injuries. Saka missed chunks of last season through a hamstring problem, and Arsenal's form dipped when he was absent. When one player is both creator and finisher for large swathes of your attacking playbook, the margin for error shrinks dramatically. Arteta has a reputation for detailed planning and tactical flexibility, and there are clear solutions that could blunt Deeney's critique. One is positional evolution, moving Saka more centrally at times so he can play off the striker's shoulder and turn teams inside out from half spaces rather than being jammed blind on the touchline. Another is rotation, giving Saka fewer 90-minute matches in low-stakes fixtures to keep him fresh for the period that decides titles. Finally, integrating Madueke and Gyökeres in roles that complement Saka rather than merely replicate him will be crucial. Tactically, if Arteta can fashion a front three where Gyökeres drags centre-backs wide and Saka operates either as an inverted winger or a no-10 for spells, Arsenal could increase their unpredictability. That would also address the goal-scoring question. Gyökeres brings a different profile to the team: strength, clever movement and finishing, and if he hits form early, the pressure on Saka eases. At the same time, Arsenal's goalkeeper situation, with changes and competition added this summer, will be watched closely. Conceding soft goals will hand games away and reintroduce the same fragile margins that have haunted near misses. Fans should also watch how Arteta manages minutes. The title race is a marathon, not a sprint, and modern squads win when the manager reads the calendar and protects his key men. So what to look for in the opening weeks? First, how many touches and minutes does Saka get and in which zones of the pitch? Second, whether Gyökeres looks like the focal point Arteta brought him to be. Third, whether Madueke's presence allows Saka to be freed up or simply substitutes one crowding problem for another. And fourth, whether the goalkeeper changes lead to more clean sheets or more shaky moments. If Saka is forced to carry the creative load for extended spells, while Gyökeres struggles to find rhythm, then Deeney's warning will feel prescient. But if Arteta uses the new recruits to create a genuinely multi-dimensional attack, the one-player critique will evaporate fast. At the end of the day, Deeney's line is a useful provocation. It forces a simple test on Arsenal's summer work. Did the club's signings truly diversify the team's threats, or did they amount to cosmetic additions around a still central figure? Fans should cheer the big names coming in, but they should also demand a clearer plan to spread responsibility across the squad. If Arteta succeeds in doing that, Arsenal's heavy investment could finally translate into the title that's felt overdue. If not, we'll be back next year replaying the same story. Great players, near misses, and one man asked to do the job of many. The difference between those two outcomes may well begin and end with how Saka is used in the first month.